You look at it at the end of the day, this beautiful home here.
The word luxury is being very diluted these days.
Luxury is also about experience. It generally looks exactly what's in my head.
No compromise was always, our original branding idea, I guess.
Yeah.
And a lot of time, yes, the picking something that might not commercially make sense. I guess in this sense, for La Emira, a lot of things that a common developer won't be spending the time and effort or money to put in, ends up working out for us. Considering we are in a different market than like say a year ago, and we can still achieve a suburb breaking record.
Yeah, you did really well.
Definitely, I think the detail, the buyer in the market definitely sees the detail, and obviously they see the value behind it.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think there's I talk about it a lot. You would have heard me say it a lot. There's a home or a product to this caliber is never one person.
We'll fine tune it all. We'll have a look for any minor discrepancies. And then we'll go through and nominate those trades. Say, okay, there's a little bit here to do, a little bit there, but there's never much.
Yeah.
You want to just make sure that everything is 100%.
Pushing extra hard to get that next level of refinement doesn't happen, whereas it was achieved here, and I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that it's very clear that you don't really meddle, but you do understand what quality looks like, and everyone understands. I got it from you immediately. I'm not going to be able to trick you into you're buying something quality. There's no tricking you, and I think your brand is all about that quality.
Waterproof once, twice, or 3 times. We do 4 times.
How will we use the space? If we're sort of having a shower, having a bath, how will we use the area? Where will we want the placement of the the spout? How the shaving cabinet, how will we utilize that, and the shower seats, and having natural light, bringing natural light into the ensuite, using natural light to naturally wake up the end user of the ensuite. That all sort of forms our design, and it's just thinking about the end user help us go through the design process and making sure whatever we sort of put in will benefit.
Little things like that, where it's cheaper and more cost effective to nip it in the butt and get it done and get the clients over. So I know it's not on the plan, but how about we put some LEDs here? Why don't we put some nice soft lighting under the stairs and
because
things
I
like
do that for myself. This kitchen serves really, really well. The layout is perfect for a busy family or someone that's on their own. It functions, and that's because you gave thought to it.
You just want the house to walk in, you get to enjoy, relax, wind down after work, or spend time with your family in.
Yeah.
And then if you need to, just simply lock up and go for a walk to the beach.
Get the builder in at the early stages, and want to organise their own plans and engineering can have a little bit of difficulty with, like I mentioned before, with plans and engineering overlapping.
Yeah.
Where if you got a builder in at an early stage, you'd be able to try and iron those bugs out, guide them through the process as well.
Yeah.
And making sure the plans, engineering, everything lines up perfectly.
For a luxury product, definitely collaborating together from the start would be very beneficial.
Yeah.
Because in the world of luxury, there's a lot of variables to the space. So, like for example, for an architect, they would just decide how big the bedroom is, the ensuite, the wardrobe is, but the interior designer might have different ideas behind that. If like you mentioned before, the kitchen, the master sells the house. So a lot of times, being able to collaborate that early on and changing some of those architectural designs, collaborating that with the interior designer will be beneficial to the end goal. And having builder also involved early on will help with doing certain things cheaper, because the builder have their own experience in construction. They will have different ways of doing things. Sometimes if you have, for example, putting a bedroom at this orientation or that orientation could have significant budget variations.
Yeah.
So definitely to do it early on, having everyone work together to achieve the end result. So everyone's on the same page. They know what you're trying to build.
Yep.
They know the direction you want to take for the project is definitely beneficial.
The building designer, the interior designer, engineers, and the builder are at the start.
Yes.
Right at concept, and we all are just doing our thing collaboratively. I find that they're the projects that tend to win awards. The workmanship in here, I wouldn't say it took me back, but it's I've only had a handful of builders at this caliber where you stop looking for things where you think, I wonder how that went.
Yeah.
And I did a bit of content back a little while. I don't even know if you ever saw it. It was before you'd handed over, and your cantilevered stairs. Obviously I've had other builders do a style like that before, but there's always flex in them. And yours, before the balustrade on, were rigid. And I'm thinking, oh, really well done.
Yeah, always overseeing things,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah, you are. And you got to keep your finger on the pulse. And I think that's part of the fun.
The main goal from us is we would like to work with people that we have a similar goal, that wants to put the perfect product out there, either that's with architect, with the interior designer, with the builder. Everyone sort of has that eye for the detail. Being able to pick up the things that people just generally wouldn't care or wouldn't notice. But the people in the industry will pay attention to.
See,
Yeah.
And that's what I found here. There's little things where I don't know, even things like the stonemasonry, the level of workmanship is just unbelievable. And I see it immediately, because there's times where I walk in on a project where profit is the goal. You're trying to make it as beautiful as you can, but profit is the objective. And it's not fair to say a corner was cut, but pushing extra hard to get that next level of refinement doesn't happen, whereas it was achieved here. And I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that it's very clear that you don't really meddle, but you do understand what quality looks like, and everyone understands. I got it from you immediately. I thought, I'm not going to be able to trick you into you're buying something quality. There's no tricking you. And I think your brand is all about that quality. Are you thinking that you would stay in this sort of realm, or have you got bigger plans for Skye? Where are you heading?
Yeah, I think for us, obviously profit margin and the day for business, that's what the main, I guess, goal is. But with that, we would definitely want to, continue with the emphasis on quality. And having no compromises in doing our builds, and we definitely see a growing sort of demand for I guess a multiple dwelling on the Gold Coast. Just because with people wanting to live close to the beach,
and land's hard to get.
Yeah, exactly. Land's hard to get, and people wants to have walkability around the city. And with the Gold Coast, the only thing we can do is to increase the density. And if we sort of build a duplex like a home, like a luxury home, people, sometimes we overlook the fact that it's not a single dwelling on a block. Some people might be happy to pay, for example, for this one, we ended up achieving house prices for a duplex. In this kind of market. And I think this is the direction we want to continue moving on to. And we will always, luxury is our main objective. Either that we put that, design philosophy and idea into duplexes, or we put that into our, I guess, other type of products. It will be that. And I guess the next project that we are looking to doing will be a a large residence on Monaco Street. But that one it's definitely,
It's a significant house.
yeah, it's a significant house. A little bit different to the Duplex project.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's bigger than Seoul, I would have thought, as a house.
it is, yes, it's a 4-level house.
It's a lot of house.
With basement, a lot of house. But the Gold Coast itself is a beautiful place to live in.
Yeah.
And you know, having the quality, people will I guess see that.
We'll build anything, but
Yeah.
look, the high-end resi is probably our market. Where we
Stimulates
get
me the
enjoy.
most as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially
Yeah.
for a homeowner, I love investing in something that the person wants to be there for years, which isn't that common, but you get them. And I tend to like to bury deeper into the nitty gritty and the finer detail and get a sense of them. I really enjoy that. But so that high end resi is where I like to play as well.
absolutely.
Functionality has to reflect how good something looks.
Yep.
Just to give to use an example for the kitchen, we can very simply do what everyone else does. We can just put nice marble everywhere.
Yep.
But that sort of defeats the purpose of a kitchen.
Yeah.
As most people know, marble is porous. It will absorb whatever liquid. It will be stained. So for example, for La Emira, we reserve marble to be used on the island itself, whereas there will be no cooking happening on the island. It's just used as a breakfast bar. Where the actual cooking surfaces, we avoid using marble. Just so if there's any cooking that uses let's say soy sauce or balsamic vinegar, something that could stain, the working areas won't stain it. And you still get to retain the aesthetic of the marble, and also without going to the top. Of going towards tacky and just plastering marble everywhere.
Yeah.
I think that earlier when we were discussing about that, you definitely mentioned that we don't want to go. It's bad design. I think that's the word you use.
Yeah.
In using marble everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I often use in design the word intentional, and your use of finishes and your design direction to me was all about intentional choice, and that was a bit, I think, why I enjoyed working with you on projects that are development based, is that I could still treat it how I think the end client beyond you is going to enjoy it, because I've had other developers where they'll stop those conversations from me and just say, just build me something the cheapest you can, make it look good. And I don't enjoy that work.
Yeah.
In yours, it was really weird because I was tapping into what I thought you, as the client, the actual immediate client, would want and say yes to. At the same time, the whole time, even while it was being built, I was picturing who might buy this and how might they like to live, and does this kitchen work? Does the shower, we came up with some fun ideas in the master ensuite, the main ensuite there, and will they like that? Are they going to enjoy that? Is it a good experience? And that's because that's where I resonate with luxury, not just expensive.
Yes, yeah. Expensive can, anyone can sort of throw money at a wall and then put the most expensive material in.
Yep.
But if it's not intent, if the intent is not tasteful, I guess, you could end up over-capitalizing and doing the opposite, having the opposite effect.
And having the opposite effect.
And our thinking definitely aligns that we also, we're thinking for the end user.
Yep.
So we will sort of imagine ourselves, hey, let's say the master ensuite, if it's us using it, let's say we'll wake up in the morning, how will we use the space? If we're sort of having a shower, having a bath, how will we use the area? Where will we want the placement of the spout? How the shaving cabinet, how will we utilize that? And the shower seats, and having natural light, bringing natural light into the ensuite, using natural light to naturally wake up the end user of the ensuite. That all sort of forms our design, I guess. And just thinking about the end user help us go through the design process and making sure whatever we sort of put in will benefit
You do have tough days, don't get me wrong.
Of course.
But, you know, you look at it at the end of the day, this beautiful home here,
Yeah.
and yeah, the outcome's fantastic.